Oh, shit. Perfect. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's hot. Okay, so for the podcast tonight, can I just plug it into my laptop here?
Yes, USB.
Okay. Oh, it's USB. Okay.
And then you might have like whatever you're recording with, maybe or whatever. You might have like think it should be the active microphone, or it should be. Actually.
Okay. Yeah, this stuff is weird to me.
What you were using to stream? Google Meet.
Yeah, Google Meet and YouTube.
If you're interested at all, I did streaming for a while. Like, are we live right now?
Well, not on Google Meets, but on YouTube, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did streaming for a while, and like I did like OBS with the program I used. I got pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I've done set up with whatever help you
Yeah,
out.
I think I had OBS. Yeah, I did. I had OBS back in the past, but I didn't get to use it much because I ended up having to move with my PC and like I didn't bring it with me. So yeah.
Yeah, the settings there are to transfer over. Once you get the hang of like how to set them up, it's pretty easy.
That would be great. That would be so helpful.
Did it read it? Like the kind of
Yeah, do whatever you got to do. Absolutely. I see that it's on here. So if it's muted, it'll be red. If it's not, it'll be blinking.
you gotta use it.
Everything's nice. My goodness, it's hot. I'm gonna switch all around real quick. Hi, bestie. Oliver is fighting my laptop for my lap right now. I mean, Oliver takes precedent. Hi, baby. Do you want the audience to see you today? Hi, Hunky Youngly. Thank you for being here. I said, did you want to say hi to the audience? Okay.
Test.
Say hi to my wife. It's my baby. And huh? We've got 5 people in. It started out at 15. That dropped to 6 very quickly. And then Y is helping get the microphone set up.
Yeah, which I think we.
Think we're good?
Oh, here I can do. Test.
Thank you. It's a dress.
I felt very perceived out there.
Yeah, me too. I just try not to look in anyone's face, but felt very seen.
People with couples walked around me much faster.
I told you, baby. The only time people are going to be looking at you is because you're gorgeous. That's the only reason they're going to be looking at you. My fiance was a little down on herself today, but literally the only reason people are staring is because she's gorgeous. Yeah.
It should be.
We should be good? All right. Thank you. Okay. All right, I've got the chat set up here, babe. So if you want to check on it at any point, you'll just have to, because we don't have. Thanks, baby.
Yeah.
We brought pops up because we didn't. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. No, but you can do it whatever you want.
No, this is probably the top pick.
Awesome.
Like all right. Okay. If anybody does come um into our Google Meet here, you guys just let me know if you can hear me. But y'all, we got enhanced audio today. We got enhanced audio. It's 16 people on. I'm gonna do something to entertain you guys. Yay! And love it when you talk to me. So I know that we are getting started late. I was gonna plug in my microphone if we had the stand, but we don't have it. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay over there on YouTube. Hey baby, can you make this big for me?
Uh, I could try, but then it'd be out of frame here.
Oh, if we did this big.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like.
No, I'm sorry. I know you're busy. I hate inconveniencing her or asking her to do anything at all. Actually.
It was so cool. Oh, what was that? What was that nifty trick you taught me?
Oh, F11.
F11?
So FN and F11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, my love. All right, so you get it to start over. We're just gonna speed run through these so we can just review.
But this is covered. So
What is? Oh, can you exit our main notes? Y'all, it's hot. Okay.
this is us. I got it.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
People are just coming in and out.
Huh?
People are coming in and out. It's like 4, 7, 10, 7, 4.
That's fine. All right, you guys. So welcome back to day 3, part 3 of our presentation, 200 Years of Black History. I'm your host, Shannon, aka Vintage in Color, or you can just call me Vintage. We have already done these twice now, so we should be familiar. I mean, if you're just coming in, I'm so sorry. But on the back end, I will re-upload the entire presentation, and you won't have to look at the fumbling and bumbling. It's going to be a lot cleaner for you guys. But for those of y'all who are with us live, what you see is what you get. So we are on day 3, and we've already covered pre-colonial Africa, and we're ending we were last in the Harlem Renaissance. So let's just go through the Harlem Renaissance really quickly. So the Harlem Renaissance was a period that lasted between 1918 to 1937. The Harlem Renaissance came about because an influx of Black people fleeing from the racism of the South were going up north in search of better job opportunities and just relief from the virulent, violent racism that was happening down south. Oh, Brian, do you mind if I turn this down or off?
Oh.
I forgot about it. Thank you, background. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me and could hear me to begin with. Harlem Renaissance, Black people fleeing. All right. So thank you. The Harlem Renaissance kind of got kicked off in a sense and really became what it was during the 1920s because of these 2 men who were named Noble Sissel and U.B. Blake. They were stage performers during the vaudeville years. The vaudeville happened during the turn of the century, so the early 1900s, and they brought their songwriting and stage play writing creativity together and started writing traveling stage shows with the goal being to premiere a Black stage show on Broadway, which they did to smash success I mean, people were lined up around the block. People were lined up outside the curtain. They wanted to meet the actors. They wanted to get into the show. They were the premier black black showman of Broadway during this time. So these are some of the stars of the 1920s that come out of the Harlem Renaissance, and they come out of the Shuffle Along show created by Cecil Blake. You've got Paul Robeson, Adelaide Hall, and Florence Mills. And then, of course, you have the Josephine Baker. I think most people that follow me, I don't know about anybody else, but most people that follow me know who Josephine Baker is and know that I'm obsessed with her. But she was the definition of a flapper of the 1920s. You think about a flapper, Josephine Baker was it. She had a pet cheetah. She owned a castle in the Parisian countryside. She used to ride ostriches through the streets of Paris. And she had two men fight to the death by sword over her.
Did one of them die?
He was severely injured,
Well,
but he didn't die.
so it's not to the death, obviously.
No, she stopped it before they died, but she was, yeah.
A true diva. Generous.
Like a hot girl always knows when to cool things down. Like she always knows when to reel it back, you know.
Have the power, you know.
She recognizes her power. All right. Oh God, y'all! I'm trying to get these fans on me. Okay, but this is Josephine Baker doing her thing. The context of this clip is that she is pretending to dance badly, and somehow she's still fucking it up. Is the thing. What am I saying here? What happened? Oh yeah, playful stage presence, scandalous lifestyle. She was bisexual. Oh my God. Toast to Paris. White women wanted to be like her. White men wanted to be her. And America fucking hated her. So. And then you have the jazz men of the 1920s. So you have Duke Ellington, who was known for his sharp suits and his big wide grin. You had Louis Armstrong, who also had a great face. He just had a great smile. I don't know. Louis Armstrong looks like, I feel like Louis Armstrong would be in my dream blunt rotation, low key. I really do. I think he would be. I feel like him and Cab Calloway would be fun to smoke with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I would hit on Cab.
Mm-hmm. He would let you. Did he have a wife?
At some point, he did.
It was the jazz 20s. He would let you.
Exactly. Like, I would think how this. And this is my man. I mean, Cab Calloway. As you can see, the smoothest man on 7th Avenue. His influence is found even today with modern day entertainers like Michael Jackson and Chris Brown. The smooth moonwalk, the showmanship, the pizzazz. Cab Calloway was the second big band leader to perform at the Cotton Club, the first being Duke Ellington. And he broke the barrier of colorism that had persisted in the Cotton Club up until his time as band leader by bringing his dark-skinned black chorus girls on with him. At the time, the Cotton Club restricted who was allowed in it. It was a white-owned club that was supposed to evoke plantation imagery. Black people were allowed to be servers and cooks. The entertainers were not. Black people weren't allowed to frequent the clubs. If you were really, really famous and black, you could. And then you might be able to get a family member or two in. But otherwise,
it was the bourgeoisie entertaining an extended fantasy of still having black people enslaved.
Yeah. Exactly. And this is his sister, Blanche Calloway. Blanche got her start on Shuffle Along with Cecil Blake's Broadway show. She is, as you can see, beautiful, has the same big, charming smile, and would be the first woman to lead an all-male big band called Blanche Calloway and her Joy Boys, which is a great name. Also, low-key sounds like a gay porno.
They do.
It right? Yeah, like doesn't it?
One singer for bandmates.
And there will be many more jazz ladies to come, which we will talk about. Probably not in this class because I didn't finish all my slides, but we'll get there. All right. Here's the new stuff that I worked on recently. So there was a saying back in the 1920s and 30s. It was mad about jazz. Back then, mad meant like crazy about it. You loved it. It was all the rage, wild about it, right? So people truly were mad about jazz all over the world.
Silly. Don't worry about nothing anymore.
Oh, she's wearing pants.
Ooh.
Period. I know that's racist. Anyway, however, some people really were mad about jazz. Like it wasn't a turn of phrase. They were like really pissed off about jazz music. Because jazz reignited the same fear of untamed Black creativity and expression that tribal traditional drumming and dance meetings did for the enslavers just a few decades prior. Black passion that wasn't tethered to white amusement caused moral panic among conservative groups, religious zealots, and bigots. That being said, jazz was associated with speakeasies and gin joints as well. This was during Prohibition because white women were like, my husband is drinking, coming home, beating my ass and my kids' ass, and spending all our money. So if we get rid of the alcohol, we get rid of the problem, not realizing that the problem, as it always is a lack of sufficient health care, economic support. Baby, want to help me out? That's okay.
Whiteness.
Whiteness in general.
Untamed whiteness that was trying to point at everything else as itself.
As the problem.
As the problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not super eloquent. Right now I'm in two minds.
It's okay, baby.
But I'm sure if I looked it up, I could support that.
The point is, jazz was associated with dens of sin, speakeasies, and gin joints, and the thing that white women were blaming for their downtrodden state of being, which only filled bigots' concerns even more that jazz, and by association, Black people, because Black people created jazz.
Black people are jazz.
Black people are jazz, encourage illegal and immoral behavior such as drug use, violence, gambling, and worst of all, interracial sex.
Get rid of it.
That being said, overseas it was a different story. Black people were immigrating to France and England, where they were treated much more fairly, especially in France. Not only to escape the racism, but because their artistry was actually celebrated there. And many of them became permanent or temporary citizens in France to escape the racism. And in Cairo, Egypt, which was having its own cultural and creative renaissance, jazz musicians were welcome in the very booming, I want to say, was it called Kaya? I don't know. I don't remember. But there was a booming cabaret district in Cairo, Egypt, where a lot of the vaudeville and jazz musicians would go, including Billy Brooks and George Duncan, who formed a duo together, and Billy Burrell. And they would become top performers and settle down there for a while. All right. And white people weren't the only ones who were condemning jazz. Black conservative Christians also condemn jazz because Black conservative Christians also really don't like fun. So an interfaith couple by the name of James and Eloise Gist would use the medium of film to make a social commentary on things like miscarriage, gambling, and dancing. James was Christian and his wife Eloise was of the Baha'i faith, which is supposed to be a faith that is open-minded to all spiritual practices. That being said, many of their films were overtly religious and Christian. But this couple had a mission, and unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, like it or not, they were pioneers in Black film. They were self-taught in filmmaking. They acquired their own film equipment. James would film and direct their movies, and Eloise would script and edit them. And then they would travel around the country, screening their films at Black theaters, and then following them up with sermons. This clip is from a scene from their only feature-length film called Hellbound Train, which was shot in 1930. And the plot centers on a runaway train being conducted by the devil, in which each train car depicts a different sin associated with the jazz lifestyle, including drinking, dancing, gambling, and smoking.
You know, that's an interesting concept.
It
That
is.
someone could flip on its head and make like another Sinners movie.
Yeah, no, this is actually very creative, and I think if you were to take this, modernize it, this will make a really dope like you said, like a Sinners Southern Gothic horror type situation.
Yeah.
Like
Like
it's
the Hotel California, but in train.
like it's really actually impressive.
Yeah.
You know, creatively. That being said, jazz was the sound heard around the world. First of all, look at him.
Slick. He's slick with it.
He knows who he is. He makes this band.
He's exactly who he thinks.
He's exactly who he thinks he is. Today, almost every country has its own particular flavor of jazz, including but not limited to Egypt, India, Japan, Ethiopia, and Nigeria, and Brazil, just to name a few. Not only has jazz transcended nationality, it stood the test of time with the latest iteration of jazz, I would say, being jazz hop, which is a fusion of hip hop beats with jazz instrumentals. All right, we're going to check in with you guys in the chat. Knowledge. That's what somebody said. Oh, thank you, Mickey, for dropping the Google link. If you guys want to see it and it, just with a clearer picture and a clearer sound, you guys can click that Google link there and join. I don't think anybody's trying to now. The blacks are making fun stuff for themselves. You're so funny. All right. How is everybody's Juneteenth going, by the way? I hope you guys are enjoying your Juneteenth. It finally rained down here where we are, so we're enjoying it not being 98 degrees. Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I was looking at it, it was like 2, and then you can put it in the shot to see it.
All right, baby, can you oh look. All right, so let's catch up with what's been happening in Hollywood. So in 1918, the first black kiss would be captured on film, as you can see here, with these two vaudeville stage actors. And in 1912, Alice Guy Blanchet, a white French woman, would write and direct one of the first or few films to star an all-black cast called A Fool and His Money. Unfortunately, it's full of colorism, featureism, and stereotypes about blackness, but for the time, it was impressive. And then we got our silver screen sirens, some of the first to start coming out of Hollywood. So in 1911, an aspiring actress, single mother of 3, and former washerwoman named Nellie would change her name to Madame Sultaywan because, fun fact, back in those days, all the way up until like the 60s and 70s, people would not refer to black people as Mr., Mrs., Ma'am, or Sir. Didn't matter how old they were auntie or uncle or boy or girl. And so a lot of black men and women would take on or name their children things like sergeant, princess, queen, madam, miss, missy, etc. to force, their children to have that respect that they were going to be denied ultimately when they grew up. So she changed her name to Madame Sultaywan. That became her stage name. This was a strategic tactic in order to take on more stage roles and film roles. And a lot of the time, she would adorn a very ethnic aesthetic, such as with her beads here and her long hair, although she was fully unambiguously a black woman. However, this would land her the first studio contract at $25 a week. And this is in 1911. That's good fucking money. With D.W. Griffith's racist epic Birth of a Nation. Some people suspected her and Griffith of having an affair. I don't know. I just think he was paying a black actress what she was worth. And then we have the lovely Hattie McDaniel, who would become the first black woman to win a Best Actress Oscar in 1939 and would remain the only one until Halle Berry eventually won it again in 93, 2001. way too fucking long after the fact. And then finally, this gorgeous North Carolina native named Francine Everett will become the poor man's Dorothy Dandridge after starring in several iconic race films. All right, baby. All right, so let's talk about the founder of Black Hollywood, in my opinion, Oscar Micheaux. So around 1904, a man by the name of Oscar Micheaux would acquire 160 acres of land in South Dakota. This was something called the Homestead Act, which was America's attempt at colonizing indigenous land
For redistribution.
for redistribution. Repackaging it like, hey, salt of the earth. Here's a patch of land.
Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny. And also ignore the crying natives over there. We're gonna get rid of them soon. That's what it was. Black people were destitute and poor and wanted their own shit. So that had nothing to do with us, but some of us were trying to get a little bit of a leg up. And Oscar Micheaux was one of these people.
Oh, and we could talk about the Buffalo Soldiers too.
We could talk about the Buffalo Soldiers pitting Black and indigenous people against is the whole thing.
Tales old as time.
Tales old as time, y'all. But he actually doesn't acquire it directly from the government. He applied and was denied and actually had to get it from a land grab lottery that they were doing. They auctioned it off, yes. And he won it. That's how he acquired 160 acres of South Dakota land. He was one of the only Black people out there. You would think that he would experience racism, but he was really more so a fascination of the few people who were there. Yeah.
Because I said, like you said, of the few people that were there.
The few people in general were like, ooh. So it wasn't as bad as you would think it was. However, a part of this land redistribution deal that the government was doing was that you had to cultivate the land yourself because, well, you thought the government was actually going to help.
And don't let you find oil on it.
Right, but let you find oil on that bitch.
They get cultivated for you real quick.
And he would document this entire journey in a novel that he would name The Conquest, the story of a Negro pioneer. He began to sell this novel himself throughout town. And again, people were fascinated by him. They were interested in him and they were interested in the story. So it began to sell. People were taking it. They were redistributing it. Being this old Black man in the South Dakota plains, people were fascinated by this story of gumption and ingenuity. And on his downtime, Oscar Micheaux would go to the segregated Black theaters to watch movies. And as fate would have it, one of these Black theaters just so happened to be where a man by the name of Noble Johnson, with some connections to the very, very small community of Black Hollywood, would play his race films or the Black films that he would acquire in these segregated theaters. He had picked up a copy of Oscar's book. He was interested in it, and he was like, I think that this could make a really great silent film. And so he would use those connections to reach out to his brother-in-law, who was a famous silent film and then eventually talkie actor, about adapting that book into a short film called The Homesteader. All right, baby. All right. And so we see the rise of Black Hollywood. So in 1918, Micheaux would get a meeting with the gentleman that Noble got him in touch with, and they were the owners of the sole Black-owned production company in the United States at the time called the Lincoln Motion Picture Company. He would meet with them in 1918 and would turn down their offer to produce his film because he did not want to give up the creative control to have the film produced. So later that year, he would establish Micheaux Book and Film Company and start acquiring film equipment as well as a small studio space in Sioux Falls, Iowa, I want to say. In February 1919, he would complete The Homesteader, and Black audiences would be treated to the first feature-length film completed, directed, and produced by a Black man. Micheaux would be integral to the kicking off of Black Hollywood, predating Tyler Perry Studios by over 80 years.
I was just about to say, he reminded me of Tyler Perry from Miss Tyler Perry.
Yep.
160 acres in South Dakota. What was he gonna do with that land? Come on now.
Exactly.
Obviously, he was gonna make films with it.
And then it's cheap too because it's South Dakota.
Exactly.
So let's talk about race films and the concept of being black famous.
Ooh.
In the chat, name some people that you know are black famous.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all know what black famous is. You black, you know what black famous is.
I'm not gonna pretend like I know names, but I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Race films have been around since the turn of the century, and Michelle became a premier race film producer, making movies from 1919, I want to say all the way up until literally the 1950s. These films were made up of entirely black casts and intended for black audiences, and they were made outside of the Hollywood studio system. So there was no preservation system for them. Hollywood was also just bad at preserving their own films. They would just burn shit for no fucking reason because America has no concept of. Anyway, despite the fact that over 500 race films were made, only about 150 survive today. And they can all be accessed on Mary Baldwin University's Grafton database. Highly, highly, highly recommend checking out that database. It has black films dating back to 1915. With black people producing these films outside of the studio system, a concept called black famous would begin to emerge. To be black famous would be to be beloved within the black community and very well known within the black community. However, your talent and I was going to say discography, filmography in mainstream America, aka white America, would go relatively unknown, unrecognized, or misunderstood. Think Taraji P. Henson, Omar Epps. I'm trying to think of other people. Who's other like black fake? Oh yeah, you don't know the names.
The brothers.
What brothers?
The brothers.
Like the Wayne brothers. Like yeah, I would say the Wayne brothers.
Yeah.
The Wayans brothers. Yeah. Aside from race films, variety shows, dance hall performances, and vaudeville acts like the one that was just playing here would spotlight black nightlife and entertainment culture in a way that felt familiar to black audiences, a lot like, you know, the BET Awards or the Soul Train Awards of today. With Their Eyes Were Watching God, Zora Neale Hurston's iconic, very introspective, and very deeply womanist novel being published in 1937, this would mark pretty much the end of, or the unofficial end of the Harlem Renaissance. The Great Depression absolutely obliterated Harlem, leaving 50% of Harlemites unemployed and destitute. The dissolution of such a cultural moment really revealed how unequipped the American government was to provide social and financial safety nets to their constituents, and how underappreciated Black people were to the cultural identity of America in general. Imagine the Harlem Renaissance just continuing to fucking go, bitch. Like, imagine if she just kept going. But today, the Harlem Renaissance, I would say outside of the Black community, isn't super well known. And honestly, probably with a lot of Black youth, it's probably not super well known. But this period of time inspired a lot of cultural iconography that's associated with Americana, such as Betty Boop, whose animation was quite literally ripped from Cab Calloway's sinuous movements. A lot of people also say that Betty Boop was inspired by a black jazz singer by the name of Baby Esther. Um, flappers who were very much influenced by the black women that they would rub shoulders with when they would go to the black clubs of Harlem. And then, of course, jazz, which, as we have determined or said already, was a cultural export that's continued to travel outside of the U.S. All right, baby, see how much I got left. All right, we got this. And then we went to war in 1939. Fresh off the tails of the Great Depression, we weren't getting no sleep, bitch. We had the Civil War, we had the Great War, we had the 1920s where we got to have a little bit of fun, and then we went broke, and then we went to war.
To come back from being broke.
After coming back from being broke, and wars make money, but they cost money too. So the very brief period of peace that we experienced in the 1920s had been shattered by the Depression and the widespread violence and destitution of the 1920s and the Great Depression. Now, all Americans were expected to do their part for the war effort, including the ones for whom the country first turned its back on during the Depression. Yes. And once again, Black entertainers would be integral to another cultural moment in American history. All right. I think we're getting down to like our last slide. Yeah. All right. So films like this one here, which depicts Black war nurses learning how to be nurses, would be screened in Black theaters before films to encourage Black Americans to participate in the war effort and encourage patriotism. We were all united in the war effort, even if that didn't reflect in our politics. I think that's all I got. Chop on, baby. That's it. All right. That's it. Thank you. I was literally working on this up to this point. You can tell because the paragraphs got a little. Let's look at the chat. Oh yeah, Cicely Tyson is Black fame. Alfre Woodard, yeah, Monique, Issa Rae. These are good ones, actually. I wish we could post pictures because I don't know all of the names. All the aunties from Tyler Perry films.
Every last one of them.
Literally every single last one of them. But you know what? We ended right on time. We started late and it's 7:54, so we ended right on time. But yeah, I have learned that I'm not cut out to be a professor. I'm cut out to be a teacher in a sense, a lecturer maybe, but like somebody that makes material ahead of time, bitch. I ain't got that. I mean,
There's different roles in the revolution. You could say it.
It's different
We'll
roles.
just have other people make your material.
However, we got about 60 more years to cover in one day. I don't know how we finna do this, y'all.
I'm excited. I'll be here tomorrow.
Yay! Oh shit, it is tomorrow, isn't it?
You know?
Pulling an all-nighter, huh?
We're gonna pull it all night.
Because she works tomorrow, too.
Oh damn. I forgot. I forgot everything. I forgot I had to work tomorrow. I forgot that we were doing this tomorrow. But yeah, so that is where we're at. We're gonna leave off with the beginning of the Harlem, or not, I'm sorry, not Harlem, but World War II. And we'll jump back into it, talk about the rise of Golden Era Hollywood, the rise and fall of Golden Era Hollywood, which is going to be really fun. And the 60s, which is going to be really fun. And then 70s black exploitation, which I think is going to be like Afrofuturism. I'm so excited to talk about Afrofuturism. Oh my God. All right. Let me know if you need extra sources. I do, Mickey. If you could email them to me, that would be amazing. Or like drop them in our chat. That'd be great. If I like really have the mental space to sit down and really, really dig into this, golden. But I just don't. I do this at my desk at work with what little time I have, and then I come home and do it with what little brain power I have. Yes, I'll tell you. I'll let you know. Right now, I'm gonna be talking about the rise of the McCarthy era, McCarthyism, and Black socialists like Paul Robeson. There's a few more Black socialists who I have to include as well. All right. Well, it was a very brief class today, you guys. I really appreciate y'all for being here. And Mickey, thank you so much for modding. As always, thank you for being here and supporting. Thank you to my baby who came and is always here to support. And to Y, who's been here the past few classes helping get us set up. Yeah, I'm sorry you missed it. But it's okay because it's going to be re-uploaded, and then the presentation I'm going to do like recordings over and just upload it as a video so that you guys just see the presentation, not the live stream, so it's a little bit cleaner. What are y'all doing for your Juneteenth? We literally have no Juneteenth plans. It doesn't feel like it's Juneteenth right now, does it, baby? What do you want to do for this? Draw. I'm thirsty as fuck.
You got water.
Yeah, get a water.
You got bottles water in the fridge. Around the corner, yeah. One over here. Over by this point.
Oh, yeah. Like the freedom water? I know. Okay. Kindle's drawing. I'm probably gonna be working on my slides, but honestly, it would be nice to do something other than that. I might work on my fan fiction. Kindle got so excited because she's always looking forward to it, to my updates. All right, you guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Come back for the conclusion of the class. See if I actually finish the entire thing tomorrow. And yeah, happy Juneteenth, happy Pride, happy Men's Mental Health. Bye. There's a lot of stuff in this month.